The massive starship Celestial Guardian glided through the obsidian darkness of deep space, its titanium hull reflecting distant starlight like a silent predator. Ju-eun Park sat hunched over her communication console, her fingers dancing across holographic displays that flickered with countless streams of data. Around her, the ship's interior hummed with the soft electronic pulse of advanced technology. She wasn't like most crew members. Where others saw routine monitoring, Ju-eun saw patterns, intricate, complex networks of information that most would simply overlook. Her eyes, sharp and focused, tracked multiple communication channels simultaneously, a skill that had earned her both respect and occasional skepticism from her senior officers. The current mission seemed straightforward: escort a diplomatic convoy through the treacherous Andromeda Corridor, a region notorious for unpredictable spatial anomalies and occasional pirate activities. But something felt off. The navigation coordinates didn't align perfectly. Most would dismiss such microscopic discrepancies, but not Ju-eun. Her handheld quantum analyzer, a compact device no larger than a datapad, began generating alternative trajectory calculations. The numbers danced before her eyes, revealing potential disaster. If the current course continued, the convoy would drift dangerously close to an uncharted asteroid field with immense gravitational disruptions. "Computer," she whispered, her voice calm but intense, "run complete trajectory simulation with variance factor 0.3. The holographic display erupted with multiple potential scenarios. Red warning indicators started blinking, confirming her suspicions. The planned route would potentially expose the diplomatic ships to catastrophic risks. Outside the ship's massive viewports, alien spacecraft of various designs drifted nearby. Sleek Proximan vessels with crystalline hulls, chunky Terran transport, ships and several unidentified craft from distant star systems created a complex maritime of interstellar traffic. Each represented different technological achievements, cultural backgrounds, and potential diplomatic tensions. Ju-eun remembered her training, how human adaptability had become legendary across galactic networks. Humans were newcomers to interstellar travel, but they brought something unique: intuitive problem-solving and an uncanny ability to see solutions where others saw insurmountable challenges. Her communication implant, a small neural device behind her right ear, began processing additional data streams. Quantum encryption codes from multiple alien communication networks intersected, revealing subtle inconsistencies in the current mission parameters. A holographic representation of the upcoming asteroid field materialized before her. Massive rocky structures, some larger than small moons, rotated in a chaotic dance. Traditional navigation systems would struggle, but Ju-eun saw something else: predictable patterns hidden within apparent randomness. Her fingers moved with practiced precision, recalculating potential routes. Each movement was deliberate, each calculation a potential lifeline for hundreds of beings aboard various spacecraft. Proximity alerts suddenly flashed. Unknown energy signatures began emerging from the asteroid field's periphery. These weren't natural formations. Something artificial was preparing to move. Robotic reconnaissance drones? Automated defense systems? Or something entirely unexpected? Ju-eun's heart raced. Years of training had prepared her for moments like these. She wasn't just processing data. She was interpreting a complex galactic puzzle where each moved piece could mean survival or destruction. The ship's internal communication system crackled. Commander Hyun-Ki's stern voice echoed through the communication deck. "Maintain current trajectory. All systems nominal." But Ju-eun knew better. Her intuition, combined with meticulously gathered data, screamed that something was fundamentally wrong with the current mission parameters. Alien technology surrounding her hummed with potential. Quantum processors, gravitational stabilizers, and communication arrays that represented centuries of technological evolution. Yet in this moment, human intuition might prove more valuable than any sophisticated system. She took a deep breath, knowing her next actions would challenge everything: the mission protocol, her commanding officer's direct instructions, and potentially her entire career. But lives were at stake. Hundreds of diplomatic personnel from multiple star systems would depend on her next move. The asteroid field loomed closer, its massive structures casting menacing shadows across the spacecraft's navigational screens. Something was definitely not right. Ju-hyun Park smiled slightly. This was going to be interesting. End of part 1. The moment stretched like an elastic thread about to snap. Zhao-hyun's hands moved with surgical precision across the quantum communication interface, her neural implant working overtime to process multiple data streams simultaneously. Commander Hyun-ki's previous order echoed in her mind, but the potential catastrophe displayed on her holographic screen was impossible to ignore. Hundreds of diplomatic vessels, thousands of lives from multiple star systems, hung in a delicate balance. The Celestial Guardian's bridge trembled slightly, a subtle vibration that most would dismiss, but Ju-hyun recognized as a warning. Something was brewing within the asteroid field. Robotic reconnaissance drones began emerging from hidden caverns, their metallic surfaces reflecting strange electromagnetic signatures. These weren't standard defense mechanisms. Each drone moved with an almost organic precision, suggesting advanced artificial intelligence far beyond standard galactic protocols. Their movement patterns indicated a coordinated response to something or someone approaching the diplomatic convoy. Ju-hyun knew direct confrontation with Commander Hyun-ki would be futile. Military hierarchies were rigid, especially in deep space missions. One wrong move could mean immediate court-martial or worse. She needed a strategy that would save lives without triggering immediate disciplinary action. Her quantum communication device, a compact technological marvel no larger than her palm, began generating alternative navigation routes. Each calculation represented potential survival scenarios, millisecond decisions that could mean the difference between safe passage and total destruction. The alien communication network surrounding her hummed with potential energy. Proximan crystal-based communication arrays flickered, Zentaran quantum transmission lines pulsed, and various robotic communication protocols intersected in a complex dance of technological potential. Outside the massive viewports, the asteroid field looked deceptively peaceful. Massive rocky structures rotated in complex gravitational interactions, creating a natural maze that would challenge even the most advanced navigation systems. But Ju-hyun saw something different, predictable patterns hidden within apparent chaos. Her neural implant began creating micro-adjustments to the ship's existing navigation protocols, small, almost imperceptible changes that would gradually redirect the entire diplomatic convoy away from potential danger. Each adjustment was so subtle that standard monitoring systems would likely miss the incremental shifts. Robotic defense drones continued their mysterious dance, their movements suggesting an intelligence far beyond standard programming. They seemed to be waiting, scanning, preparing for something significant. A sudden communication burst from an unknown source caught her attention. Encrypted signals, using frequencies typically reserved for high-level diplomatic communications, began intersecting with the ship's standard communication channels. Something was definitely not following standard operational procedures. Ju-hyun's training kicked in. Years of studying interstellar communication protocols, combined with her natural intuition, allowed her to see connections others might miss. The robotic drones, the unusual communication signals, the subtle gravitational anomalies, they were all connected. Her fingers danced across the quantum interface, creating a complex network of micro-redirections. To an outside observer, the ship's trajectory would appear completely normal, but each subtle adjustment was carefully calculated to guide the diplomatic convoy away from potential threats. The bridge around her continued its routine operations. Crew members moved with practiced efficiency, monitoring various systems, completely unaware of the potential catastrophe being averted by one strategic human operator. Commander Hyun-ki remained focused on his primary navigation screens, trusting the established systems and traditional monitoring protocols. He had no idea that Ju-hyun was systematically rewriting their survival strategy, one quantum calculation at a time. Alien technological systems surrounding her continued their complex interactions. Quantum processors, gravitational stabilizers, and advanced communication arrays represented centuries of technological evolution. Yet, in this moment, human intuition and adaptability might prove more valuable than any sophisticated system. The diplomatic convoy began its slow, seemingly routine movement through the asteroid field. To any standard monitoring system, everything appeared completely normal. But Ju-un knew better. Each micro-adjustment was carefully designed to create a safe passage, avoiding potential destruction. Her heart raced with a mixture of excitement and calculated focus. This was more than just a navigation challenge. This was about preserving lives, preventing a potential interstellar incident, and demonstrating the unique problem-solving capabilities of human operators. The massive starship continued its journey, its trajectory subtly but significantly altered by one human's strategic intervention. Something big was about to happen. End of Part 2. The sealed chamber hummed with tension, its metallic walls absorbing every subtle sound. Commander Hyun-Ki's eyes burned with a mixture of anger and disbelief as Ju-un stood before him, her posture calm, but her eyes radiating an unbreakable resolve. Holographic displays flickered around them, revealing complex mission data, trajectory, logs, and the intricate dance of diplomatic vessels they had just navigated. The room itself was a marvel of advanced technology, walls that could shift molecular density, adaptive communication interfaces, and quantum-locked security systems. You deliberately altered the ship's primary navigation protocols, Hyun-Ki's voice was low, controlled, but trembling with barely contained fury. His hands, modified with advanced neural interface cybernetic enhancements, clenched and unclenched with mechanical precision. Ju-un knew this moment was critical. One wrong word could mean the end of her career, or worse, potential imprisonment in a deep space penal colony. The sealed quarters were more than just a meeting room. They were a psychological battlefield where hierarchical military power would be challenged. The external viewports showed the vast emptiness of space. Distant star clusters twinkled like frozen diamonds, silent witnesses to this human drama unfolding within the starship's secure chambers. Robotic maintenance drones moved. Outside, their sleek forms casting occasional shadows across the room. I saved 743 diplomatic personnel and prevented a potential interstellar incident, Ju-un responded, her voice steady. Each word was carefully chosen, a strategic weapon in this verbal confrontation. Hyun-Ki's cybernetic implants processed her statement, running multiple analytical scenarios. As a veteran commander who had navigated hundreds of complex missions, he was not used to being challenged, especially not by a junior communication specialist. The room's environmental controls seemed to respond to the tension. Temperature dropped, slightly, creating an additional layer of psychological pressure. Advanced alien technology integrated into the ship's systems could read and adapt to emotional states, a feature designed to maintain optimal crew performance. Your actions violated 6 primary operational protocols, Hyun-Ki stated, bringing up holographic documentation that surrounded Ju-un like a prosecutorial cage of light and data. Each regulation glowed with an accusatory intensity, but Ju-un was prepared. Her neural implant had been collecting and organizing data throughout the entire mission. With a subtle gesture, she activated her personal communication device, projecting a comprehensive analysis that contradicted every single charge. Gravitational anomaly charts, encrypted communication intercepts, and potential threat assessments materialized around her. Each piece of evidence was meticulously documented, presenting a narrative that transformed her from a potential offender to a strategic problem solver. The robotic defense systems embedded within the sealed quarters began to react. Subtle mechanical movements suggested they were analyzing the confrontation, processing the human interaction through complex algorithmic protocols. Outside the chamber, the diplomatic convoy continued its journey, blissfully unaware of the intense human drama unfolding within the starship's secure chambers. Alien vessels from multiple star systems moved in carefully choreographed formations, representing centuries of interstellar diplomatic negotiations. Hyun-Ki realized something fundamental was happening. This wasn't just about challenging authority. This was about demonstrating a uniquely human approach to problem-solving, intuition, adaptability, and the ability to see complex patterns where others saw only chaos. "Do you understand the implications of your actions?" he asked, his tone shifting from pure anger to something more complex, a mixture of frustration and reluctant respect. Ju-un smiled slightly. She understood perfectly. This wasn't just a confrontation about a single mission. This was about challenging established systems, about proving that human potential could transcend traditional hierarchical structures. The sealed chamber continued to hum with technological energy. Quantum processors analyzed every word, every gesture. Adaptive communication interfaces recorded every nuanced interaction. And at the center of it all, a human and a commander engaged in a battle that would potentially reshape interstellar military protocols. Something significant was about to change. The sealed chamber transformed into a complex battlefield of information and strategy. Holographic data streams erupted around Ju-un like luminescent tendrils, revealing layers of hidden mission complexities that even Commander Hyun-ki hadn't anticipated. Her neural implant worked over time, processing massive data sets. With lightning speed, each projection told a story, not just of a single mission, but of systemic failures embedded deep within the Intergalactic Defense Force's operational protocols. The first revelation struck like a quantum pulse. Hidden communication logs revealed unauthorized interactions between mid-level command officers and unknown external entities. These weren't standard diplomatic exchanges, but something far more sinister: potential corporate infiltration of military decision-making processes. Robotic analysis systems surrounding them began to react. Mechanical sensors detected the increasing complexity of the data presentation, their quantum processors struggling to comprehend the intricate human narrative being constructed. "These communication patterns," Ju-un explained, her voice calm and methodical, "indicate a systematic manipulation of mission parameters." The asteroid field wasn't just a navigation challenge, it was a carefully constructed testing ground. Hyun-ki's cybernetic implants flickered. Years of military conditioning battled against the overwhelming evidence being presented. The holographic displays showed intricate connection maps, financial transactions, communication logs, mission redirections, all pointing to a complex conspiracy. Outside the sealed chamber, the diplomatic convoy continued its journey. Alien vessels from multiple star systems moved in carefully choreographed formations, their crews completely unaware of the revelations unfolding within the Celestial Guardian. Ju-un's next projection revealed something even more shocking. Multiple mission failure reports had been systematically altered, hiding significant operational risks. Standard investigation protocols had been bypassed, creating a dangerous pattern of concealment. The room's adaptive technology responded to the increasing tension. Molecular walls seemed to compress slightly, creating a sense of psychological pressure that matched the intensity of the unfolding narrative. "This goes beyond a simple navigation error," she continued, her fingers dancing across quantum interfaces. "We're looking at a deliberate strategy of mission manipulation that puts entire diplomatic missions at risk." Robotic defense systems embedded in the chamber began to recalibrate. Their advanced AI was processing the human-generated information, detecting patterns that their standard protocols had previously missed. Hyun-ki's professional facade began to crack. Decades of military service confronted the uncomfortable truth that the system he had devoted his life to might be fundamentally compromised. Human intuition was doing what generations of advanced technological systems had failed to accomplish. The holographic displays continued their complex dance. Financial trails, communication intercepts, mission logs, each piece of data told a fragment of a larger story. Corporate interests, military bureaucracy, and potential interstellar diplomatic manipulations were being exposed in real time. Ju-un's neural implant worked at superhuman speeds, connecting dots that would have remained invisible to standard analytical systems. She wasn't just presenting information, she was constructing a comprehensive narrative that challenged entire operational paradigms. The sealed chamber transformed into a crucible of truth. Every projection Every data stream challenged established understanding. The line between military, protocol and systemic corruption blurred with each passing moment. Robotic analysis systems around them continued their silent observation. Mechanical eyes tracked every movement, every projection, processing the human-generated information through increasingly complex algorithms. "This isn't just about one mission," Ju-un said, her voice carrying a weight that transcended the immediate confrontation. "This is about protecting the fundamental integrity of our interstellar operations." Hyun-ki realized something profound was happening. This wasn't a typical disciplinary interaction. This was a fundamental re-evaluation of how military intelligence could and should operate in an increasingly complex galactic landscape. The diplomatic convoy outside continued its journey, silent and unaware of the revolutionary moment unfolding within the Celestial Guardian's secured chambers. Something massive was about to change. End of Part 4. The moment stretched like an elastic thread about to snap. Zhao and Commander Hyun-ki stood at the precipice of a revelation that would reshape intergalactic military protocols forever. Holographic displays continued their complex dance, revealing layers of systemic corruption that ran deeper than anyone could have imagined. The sealed chamber transformed into a crucible of truth, where decades of carefully constructed military hierarchies began to crumble. Robotic analysis systems surrounding them worked overtime, quantum processors struggling to comprehend the intricate human-generated narrative. Each data stream told a story of manipulation, corporate interference, and systematic concealment that threatened the very foundation of interstellar diplomatic operations. "We're looking at more than just a mission error," Ju-un explained, her voice cutting through the tension like a precision laser. "This is a deliberate strategy of systemic risk management that puts entire planetary populations in danger." The external viewports showed the diplomatic convoy continuing its journey, unaware of the revolutionary moment unfolding within the Celestial Guardian. Distant star clusters twinkled silently, indifferent witnesses to this human drama of truth and accountability. Hyun-ki's cybernetic implants flickered with an unprecedented emotional response. Years of military conditioning battled against the overwhelming evidence. His entire career, his understanding of institutional integrity, was being dismantled piece by piece. The room's adaptive technology seemed to respond to the increasing tension. Molecular walls compressed slightly, creating a psychological pressure that matched the intensity of the unfolding revelation. Robotic maintenance drones outside moved with an almost nervous energy, sensing the significant moment occurring. Within the sealed chamber, Ju-en's neural implant processed information at superhuman speeds. She wasn't just presenting data. She was constructing a comprehensive narrative that challenged entire operational paradigms. Financial trails, communication intercepts, mission logs, each piece of evidence told a fragment of a larger story. "This goes beyond a single mission," she continued, her fingers dancing across quantum interfaces. "We're exposing a network of corporate and military interactions that compromise our fundamental mission of interstellar peace and protection." The holographic displays erupted with additional layers of information. Hidden communication logs revealed unauthorized interactions between mid-level command officers and external corporate entities. These weren't standard diplomatic exchanges, but a complex web of manipulation that threatened multiple star systems. Hyun-ki's professional facade began to completely disintegrate. The commander realized that the system he had devoted his entire life to was fundamentally compromised. Human intuition was accomplishing what generations of advanced technological systems had failed to do. Robotic defense systems embedded in the chamber began to recalibrate. Their advanced AI detected patterns that previous protocols had missed, recognizing the significance of the human-generated information. The diplomatic convoy outside continued its carefully choreographed journey. Alien vessels from multiple star systems moved in formations that now seemed fragile, their safety dependent on this single moment of human revelation. "We have two choices," Ju-un stated, her voice calm but carrying an unmistakable weight of authority. "We can either suppress this information and maintain a dangerous status quo, or we can use this as an opportunity to fundamentally restructure our approach to interstellar operations. The sealed chamber held its breath. Quantum processors, adaptive technologies and complex robotic systems seemed to pause, waiting for the next moment. Hyun-Ki's response came not with words, but with a subtle gesture. His cybernetic hand activated a secure communication channel, initiating a protocol that would trigger a comprehensive review of military and diplomatic operations across multiple star systems. In that moment, everything changed. The human capacity for intuition, for seeing complex patterns, for challenging established systems, had proven more powerful than any technological marvel. One communication specialist had just fundamentally altered the approach to interstellar military operations. Outside, the diplomatic convoy continued its journey, protected now by a truth that had been waiting to be uncovered. Something massive had changed. End of Part 5, end of Part 3.